Hi there, this is Susie back again, and today she is going to focus on her update on standard pelargoniums that she did. I think it was in June, if I can remember right. But watch my first video as to how I got started into standard. And although I can't quite exactly remember which month I did it, but this is just a follow-up on what I'm up to, the second stage of my standard pelargoniums. As you can see in front of me, especially this row here in front, are the ones I was doing last time. So I have got them out on the front there, and out at the back here I have been busy doing others, actually including this one as well, which is part of that lot that we did last time. But what I'm going to do today is actually see how they are developing and what are the progress since my last video. So let's get cracking and let's get started. I shall start off with this Crispimum variety, which is the variegated Prince Rupert. And this is the one that is one of my favorites that I don't really want to kill or die on me. And I am just going to tidy it up again. As you can see, not much growth has happened in winter, but I hope in spring we will get to see more growth in them. And these dry bits that I'm cutting, it's either due to the high winds, particular angle that has upset quite a few of the branches, which is this side. And I can see a bit of growth on them from last time, but not a great deal. So have a good look at, if you were or have followed me with standards at that time, it's about time you tidied them up and see what is happening. So this particular variegated Crispimum is a lovely bush when it does get into a nice ball. It does produce a nice purpley flowers like a butterfly or like an angel, and it is one of a great performer if it comes into flower. And just tidy it up, even the soil, that you don't encourage any sort of bugs in them, and looking healthy and nicely coming into a bush. And as you can see, there is not much I have tidied in this particular one, except taken a lot of dead leaves and a couple of branches of it. There is really not much else to trim. I might just trim a couple tops, just take them off, and hoping the ones that I have trimmed last time, I get 2 or 3 shoots on them. So just take the tips off if somehow I have missed it or something like that, like this particular one. Just take the tips off and let it form into you get a lot of new shoots. So as you can see, it's been slow throughout winter. It hasn't really pushed up as much as I wish to, and make sure this is doing quite well. And if it is bending, as I can see somewhere in here, it's bending. So just tie with a string, as you can see what I'm doing, to make it tight, and hoping that it will straighten up without breaking. We want the stem really nice and straight. So that's number 1 done. I think that's looking quite good. Now the second one, which is just a regular zonal, I think it's a rosebud if I can remember right. Yes, it is a rosebud, and as you can see, it's got a lot of new leaves have formed since I did it last, and it has got a side shoot here which we don't need, so you can remove that side shoot and take some leaves off. You can actually take it off with your hand like such, tie it all up and take all these little shoots and stuff and take all these sepals that protects the leaves. So I should just leave 2 outside and 2 inner leaves and see how that's going. It's a bit bendy and I might just put a stick through it and tie it with a string again so that it straightens up nicely. And I'll quickly show you how I do all this, because I really don't want to spend too long on this video. It's just an update, just showing you what I'm up to and what I'm doing with them. And then cut this extra string off. And here's the second one. This is the apple rosebud that I started off. And this one here is, let's see the name of it. There's no name. I would assume this is another Delhi that I have, or it could be an unknown variety. I wouldn't know till it flowers actually, because there were a couple that a friend gave it to me and I've got no idea what the flowers like. So it has since last videos given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6, 7 leaves really. So most of those leaves are gonna come off, and do take it either with the scissors or with a knife, because the regal geraniums don't like to be broken by hand, because you can take the branches off with it if you're not careful. So make sure you use a sharp knife and just serrate it and cut it off like that. So I'm gonna just leave 4 leaves, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The 4th one just coming. Now I really want to straighten this up. I leave that one tied up because I was straightening that one too, and I will tie the bit that is bendy here and keeping the stem straight. That's the whole idea of standards, making sure the straighter the without breaking it, stem, the better your plant's gonna be. So that's another one done. It's basically taking all the extra leaves off really. And this one I would be doing exactly the same. It has grown, given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 leaves I can see, and they all need to come off. This is a Delhi too, I think. Let me have a look. Oh, it's a white pelly of some sort. I think it's got white flowers with maroon inside it. So it'll be interesting when it does flower. Can't wait for something different. And taking all the extra leaves off. 2, 3, 4, and take this one as well. And taking all the sepals which protects the leaves off, and tidy it all up. And take any branches that's coming from the bottom or from the side, clean it all up, because we don't want to see any more branches. We just want to see this particular plant thriving or going straight. So this is another one that I like to make sure that the stem is straight. And going in the right direction, which is up. not sideways, not crooked. No, nothing like that. So you got that one. And this is the one that was actually going like on one side towards the right or towards your left. And this one, I can only straighten this. I don't want to break it. Let's try it, but it will straighten and I can tie it. It's got, again, given me good 6 leaves. I think this is the young one of the Delhi that I got a few of. See if I can put it on this side and then tie it. Just tie it so it is going to be giving me straight line. Even when I repot it, it should be a lot better straightened up. I can take this one off as well. Don't need that. 1, 2. I'll leave it up to there. Next time I might be able to take a few more leaves. So this is that one done. And let's have a look at that one. This is one of the ivies, and it has been in the shade and it obviously hasn't given me many leaves. Now that the weather is warming up, I might be able to put this one in a, this is the crocodile ivy pelargonium that I'm trying to form it into a, I'll just chop this one off because I just want it to give me more branches really. So everything else looks okay, and I will perhaps put a better string it up nicely, and then it will have a better hope of growing up straight like this, and tie it up with a string. There we go. Don't want any bulges coming out. And keep an eye that it doesn't form a little loop or a bulge there. So that's my ivy pelargonium that I'm trying into a standard. That'd be interesting actually. Now comes another one. Here's another Noid. So we don't know what this one is gonna flower like. And give it a better stick, and hoping that this one will also grow nicely. To me it looks like a regal, but the leaves look a bit funny, so it could be anything actually. It's a Noid, so without flowers it's very hard to see what this plant is going to flower or do. But meanwhile I'm forming this into a standard, and then I will see how good it is, and tie it together. Lightly. There we go. This is another standard. That one's done. And here's my favorite. Now, as you can see, that I have got, see these sort of shoots coming through from this particular plant, from this particular regal. And I really don't want that there, so you can chop them off or plant it somewhere else if you want, but I normally chop them off. And this one, as you can see, is looking really lovely. I am in love with this plant. It's a couple of years old, by the look of the stem, as you can see, and it does require time before it bulges out and doesn't form into a nice straight stem. So let's tie this bit up. It's a bit loose. Maybe I should get up this. Right, and then tie one here again. This is no good because it's too loose. It's not going to do much good. This one, we'll do what we allow on that one. And the top is not looking too bad, and I won't let it flower this year because I want more branches off it. So I'm going to take the top off here to give me more shoot. And I will take it over here for it to give me more shoot. And there are quite a lot of little shoots coming out. I'm very impressed with this plant. And I'll take all the leaves that are dead looking or has got spots on them, like such. Just remove all these sort of leaves when you see them. It's other sun blemish, or it could be frost blemish, could be anything. So just remove them and keep all the nice healthy looking leaves, as you can see. So this is also a very nice plant. It's coming away beautifully. And I am also trying Henry Cox into a standard. And I just want to see how it's gonna do when it reaches its height. So I'm removing everything that I don't want. And I really don't want it to flower. Here's the flower. So I'll be removing the flower because I don't want the flower to come. I want more length to occur. So I'll cut all these off, take all the sepals off, take this branch of little things coming off here, don't need all that, and take this one off. And put it in a stick. I should have got some narrower, smaller stick, which I don't have. But when I go to Bunnings next, I shall get some of the more about 3mm ones really. This one is at least good 5 or 6 millimeters, so it's a little bit too wide for these delicate plants. So I'm going to put this over here, one of them. And the other one further down. Put them not over here probably. Further down. See how it's looking. And one maybe further down still. So the more you have, the straighter your plant will look really. So that's what I'm trying to create. Don't want bulges into them. Too many bulges will only make the plant not so straight. So here we go. So that's this is the Henry Cox. Just tidy all this up. And then here's the two, which ones are these? This was done on one of the 5th of the 19th. And this one is, I think, pink-eyed pelargonium that I got it from my garden on the 1st of the 5th in May to be able to make it into a standard, because I wanted two in front of the house. This one has reached its height, whereas this one hasn't yet. So I'll just have to wait for this one to get a little bit taller. If not, then this one will have to be shorter than the other one. I'm not too concerned, as long as I've got two standard. This is the zonal pink-eyed one. And remove all this little side shooting that's coming, because you don't want them, and make sure there's none at the bottom that's coming. And clean the soil. And this stick is a little bit small, whether this one is any large. Yes, we'll take this one off because I really want a larger one. That's better. And I'll remove a couple of leaves here. And I have a feeling it's splitting here. Well, if it's splitting there, that could be the end of its height. But that's okay, it's more or less the same height. If it's trying to split, let it be, because it's no good making it go any further, because it's got two huge splits there, and that might be the end of its growth. And you just clean it, tidy it up. This is the best time to do it. Whenever you have the time, you do them, because I know lately I haven't had much time, so some of my plants have been neglected a bit. Number one, I had a sickie, took a sickie, took me a while to get better. Now I've got a cold, so it's one thing after another. But anyway, here I am, tidying it up and trying to make a video as well. So this one is all done. Now I've got the final one, another pink-eyed one, zonal, and this sticks are a little bit too short now for it, so I'm going to cut all these off and hoping to get a bigger, longer stick for it. Let's take all this, cut this off, and I don't think even this stick is long enough. Well, when I am in Bunnings, I will try to get a longer stick. And I will tie it meanwhile just to straighten it up, otherwise it will fall off as it is trying to do. I will tie this up. Meanwhile, one over there, because you don't want this to bulge either. You need to keep this one very, very straight. Very, very straight. Tie one here and then make it go straight like such. There we go. And needs this bigger stick, and I'll sort that out tomorrow when I'm at Bunnings. And any little bits and pieces that coming out from the bottom, you make sure you take them out, because you don't want it to give energy from any bottom plants, whereas you want all the energy to go up here. Now that it has got a nice split here, I'm just going to remove the top off, because I want it to form more branches. as you can see, there are two splits here. As you can see, one here, one here. So it should give me more branches on the top, and possibly next year I will let it flower, and it should look really lovely when it's in flower, and you can put it in front of the house entrance and it should look really beautiful. That one and this one. It's a little bit shorter, but hey, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so this is all my updates for zonal, variegated, ivy, regal, fancy leaf, Henricoxia. It's a variety here, and I'm trying to get them to form into a standard. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope if you have started and tried the day that I did the first video till today, that's what you should be doing, and we will certainly catch up on our third episode on standard Pelargoniums. Take care and have a very good night. Bye for now.